Hey, guys, I'm not going to wait for people to jump in here because I just want to get to the point, get this video over with, get on with my day, my Saturday. But I wanted to address everyone as it relates to the recent arrest of David Warden with News Now Houston, because everyone is losing their ever-loving mind. All of these so-called freedom people that talk about they love freedom and you can't trust government and cops lie and all that kind of stuff, all of a sudden, because the police have made an accusation against somebody, all of a sudden the police are great and they don't lie. All right? I'm going to be the first one to say this. If you are someone, anybody, I don't care who you are, who abuses young children, especially your kids, I got no use for you. I got a bullet for you, but I got no use for you. That said, these allegations against David right now are nothing but allegations. They're 17 years old. And guess who's making these allegations? The very same people that lie to justify no-knock raids, that lie to justify the arrest for people. And these are the same people, by the way, and this is the same system that wants to divide the activist community. So, if he's guilty, then by all means, we should attack. No mercy. Rip him apart from the inside. I've been able to hang out with David and talk extensively about his history. I know what he's done and I know what he hasn't done. I've seen the case files. I've probably seen a lot more than a lot of people. All right? David Warden has got a bad past and he admits it. He admits he's made mistakes in the past. However, he has not done the things that he's both been accused of or even convicted of. Oh, but CJ, a court said he was guilty of sexual assault. Guess what? A court also said that I was guilty of interfering with the duties of a peace officer. All right? Innocent people, especially if you're a white male, well, I guess it doesn't matter what you look like. Innocent people are convicted of crimes every single day in this country. Why? Because several reasons. The police lie. The police plant evidence. The police conceal evidence, or there's no evidence and the system believes women over men. Period. So, as of right now, these are allegations. And isn't it odd that these allegations are coming up at the tail end of David exposing the Houston-based, Harris County-based law enforcement apparatus for their lies that resulted in the murder of 2 people and the injury of 5 cops? Isn't it interesting that 17 years later, a charge that the lead investigator, who's now a police chief somewhere, I don't know his name, but I saw a video interview between him and that other douchebag that doesn't like First Amendment auditors, where he even said back in 2002 there were these allegations, but they couldn't be proven. What, all of a sudden 17 years later they're going to be proven? 17 years later, after David has been very successful in highlighting the fact that these cops are corrupt, now these same cops are accusing him of doing something heinous, and we're supposed to believe that? That's absurd. Do we believe in freedom or not? Because do we believe in due process or not? If David is guilty, the guy needs to go down, and everyone, I will be the first person that if it comes out that he is in any way associated with those accusations, I will be the first person to completely and utterly disown him. But you know what? I actually believe in due process. I firmly believe that people are innocent until proven guilty. And if you don't know what his, oh, but CJ, he's already had a conviction for sexual assault in the past. Do you know the story behind that? That conviction? Do you realize that it was a completely consensual encounter until the girl's parents got involved? And then all of a sudden, he's the bad guy. So don't sit here and tell me you believe in freedom when you're the guy going out there and trying to throw him under the bus. All of a sudden, the very same people that you stand up to every day are suddenly now all of a sudden believable because you might not like David? All of a sudden because you think News Now Houston is a douchebag? Oh, well, wait. Maybe this time the cops are actually right. And they might be, but we don't know that. And if you don't know that, then shut up. Well, you don't have to shut up. You got a First Amendment right to be stupid. All right? I've gotten to know David, and he's a decent person who has expressed to me that he has learned from his mistakes. And I'm a trained interrogator, and when his past came up and I realized that I was associated with somebody that's got a criminal history, and look, I've got a criminal history too. But I wanted to make sure that if I'm going to be associated with someone, especially, look, these are the top 3 tiers of things that deserve 0 quarter from CJ Grisham. The first is abortion. I have no use for you. If you're going to kill babies, I got no use for you. The second is sexual assault of minors. That's the second most disgusting thing in the book of CJ. That is the second most serious sin is the sexual assault of a minor. The third is sexual assault of women. All right? Those are my top 3. So if those 3 things, if he's guilty of doing any of those things, you better believe that this guy right here is going to be the guy that's going to be coming out hardest against David. But you know what? Just because the government says this at a time when the government itself is under a lot of pressure because of what they've just done in the last month in murdering 2 people and then finding out that the officer has lied, and that in over 100 cases of no-knock raids where the officer, the very same officer, has said that guns were involved to justify it, not a single gun was found in any of those no-knock raids by this one officer, and now all of a sudden these guys are to be believed? Oh, but CJ, it's not Houston Police Department, and it's not Harris County, it's Deer Park. Oh, gee, all they have to do is go, hey, buddy, Chief Deer Park, hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Will you file this this warrant for me? Because, if we file it, it's going to look bad. But if you file it, you're Deer Park. It's different. You don't think these guys talk? These guys talk all the time. And let me tell you this. This is what I think is going on right now. There are few things that you can unite every American on. But one of them is sexual assault of your children. I don't think you're going to find anyone that is going to think that that's okay. So what do the police do? They charge him with that. Now, why do I say that? I think they did it for a reason. I look at my case in Olmos Park. I was charged with felony assault on a peace officer. Never happened. There's not even something that you can construe to say that that happened. So why would they charge me with felony assault of a peace officer? Well, because they knew that I'm very politically active. And they knew that this district where I was running for office is very pro-cop. And so maybe if we levy these charges against CJ, that because he's made comments in the past that bad cops should be lined up and executed. And yes, I'll say it again, bad cops need to be lined up and executed. Maybe if we say that he assaulted a cop, people are going to believe that because we've got them to believe that CJ thinks all cops should be lined up and executed. Well, guess what? When those charges were thrown out, let's back up. When they made those charges, every newspaper in Texas, every media outlet in Texas reported on the fact that the founder of Open Carry Texas, who has made statements critical of police officers in the past, oh, he just got arrested for felony assault of a peace officer. See, he is dangerous. And guess what they did when those charges were dropped because they were meaningless and foundless? Were there a bunch of stories? No. You know who reported on it? My local newspaper. Who reads the Temple Daily Telegram? Nobody. But you go out there and look at Olmos Park and C.J. Grisham, and you're going to find that C.J. Grisham was charged with felony assault of a peace officer, and you're not going to find that those charges were dropped. That's what they're doing to David right now, I think. I hope I'm right. Because if I'm wrong, the wrath of David be upon him. Because I think what they're doing is they're taking something that everyone universally hates and loathes, which is the assault of children, your own children, which is about as disgusting as you can get. And it's just like Cop just said in there, Cop 350CZ. It's character assassination. Even if these charges get dropped, you think David's reputation is going to come back? You think these people are going to come back and say, oh, these were false charges. They were dropped because it never happened. No. This is how they're going to destroy David. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to divide the activist community. Because if we're fighting each other, they don't have to worry about taking us down. We'll take each other down. And they'll be able to, the government and its enforcers will be able to continue stepping on your rights. Because now they've marginalized David. And they've marginalized CJ. And they've marginalized insert name here. And made them look like they're kooks. And charged them with bogus crimes to discredit them. And then when all these charges are dropped, you don't hear the stories about that. So, my plea to you is that you wait. That you wait. Look, and it's my plea to, I've been very hard on Jussie Smollett, the guy that faked the MAGA attack up in Chicago. I know he lied. I know he did. A lot of people are saying he needs to go to jail, he needs this and that. I know he lied. But you know what? I don't want anything to happen to him until he's convicted. Because even he deserves due process. Everyone deserves due process. Even the police officer, this Goings guy that lied on his police reports, until he's convicted in a court, deserves due process. And then once he's convicted, then he needs to be lined up and executed publicly. So if you're an activist and you believe in freedom and you're going after David Warden and News Now Houston because some police invented a charge, at this point, that's what it is. It's an invented charge. Then you're part of the problem. And you're why we are going to fail. You are why we are going to lose our rights. Because you aren't taking a stand for due process. I will be the first person, if David is found guilty and the evidence shows that he deserves to be found guilty, to completely distance myself from him, because I want nothing to do with anyone that touches their children inappropriately, except to behead that person. I'm fully fine with being involved in the beheading of someone who rapes his kids. Absolutely. But David isn't guilty of raping his kids at this point. So there you go. That's my statement. And I'm passionate about this. But I will be just as passionate if he is found innocent or the charges are dropped about supporting David. So, I think he's a good man at this point. I have no reason to believe otherwise. Does he have a checkered past? Yes, and you know what? He's come clean to me about all that. He admits himself. Talk to David yourself. Talk to David one-on-one. He will tell you what an idiot he was as a kid. Or as a young adult even. What a complete moron he was. He's not a kid anymore. I couldn't find a bad bone in his body right now. He's one of those people that the system worked on. It worked in the sense that, in two ways. It worked in that it straightened him up. That he was going to follow the law. And he wasn't going to break the law. And it worked in the sense that he realized that the system is corrupt and he needs to take a stand against it, even if it means that his reputation is going to suffer. I don't know what influence I have over anybody. I'm not an important person. I'm not a smart guy, but I'm a passionate guy who understands the fundamentals of liberty. And I'm trying to convey those same fundamentals to you. If you believe in liberty, you have to always believe in liberty. You can't only believe in liberty for people that you agree with, and you can't only believe in justice for people you disagree with. You have to believe in liberty even when it hurts. And it might make you, oh my gosh, CJ, I can't believe you're defending someone who's charged with raping his own kids. Well, good point. And it scrolled up too fast. I didn't see that. But until he's proven otherwise, I've got David's back. Until it's proven otherwise that he did what he did, then I've got David's back, because I've had the opportunity to sit down and talk with David. And I've had the opportunity to interrogate David on his past. And I am convinced that he's a good man until I see evidence that convinces me otherwise. So, and I said see evidence, not a conviction, because I know that not all convictions mean you're guilty of something. I've been arrested 3 times and never committed a crime once. And I've been convicted of 1 crime and still never committed a crime once. That's how the system is. And until you've been rung through it, you probably don't understand it. All right, I'm done. I'm getting off my soapbox. You guys take care. Be safe. Please be free and let others be free as well.